Hello, Tyler here. I'm going to be showing off my Magic Menu camera system. And what it is a few components in a half dozen scripts that power this little camera marker here. And what it does is it talks with this controller to generate a nice 3D menu space. You'll navigate around by these little flags that it placed down when you have it in position that you want it. So what it ends up looking is something like this. So it zooms down. There's an experimental feature that allows it to snap immediately to where it's going to be starting at. This little framework here is just kind of just an extra interaction bonus. It's not actually what you have to use. There's many ways to interact with the script itself, but it can loop, it can run around. And right now you see nothing's filling up, but if we actually go to the controller, it does loop. Oops, it already made it all the way around. And now we can actually go right back to here. And so with that, there's actually a lot of customization that you can do. So this custom last index, say we want, well, first let's actually show like the marker, what it's doing. So this is the marker that we ended up before we loop back around here. But say we want something similar. So we'll grab this 7.2.9, go to the camera marker, and we have these look targets. So if I change this to forward, you'll see it actually moves this camera around. And this is what the facing direction of the spawn camera is going to be. So let's put it to custom 8 and that value there. Let's just kind of line it up with this ball here a little bit closer. And then we're going to make this custom or whatever. Doesn't really matter what it's called. And I'll actually call it flag custom, so you can name your sections. And then let's go to the Magic Menu controller here, and say we don't actually want to get to this through the loop here. So we're going to use custom last index, and we're going to go with 3. So that's the index of the last one here, and it's going by 0-based index. So if we hit play here, and we loop all the way around, while also enabling does loop. You can see it goes back to this one. So what we can do with that is we can hook it up into here, this testing value. That's, again, this is an experimental feature. Eventually it'll actually be pushed into like an actually working feature. It's kind of just slapped in right now to get the interaction working. But if we play it, and I believe I don't even remember the key. I think it's P to make it go to that flag. So once we get back over here, so we're at this one, and we hit P, we'll actually zoom into that one. So you could use that for level transitions or whatever you wanted to do with that, and control it through the controller and this Magic Menu default flag selector, which is also in the extras. It's not actually a major part of this. A lot of the interactions you can get with this camera system are core features, but I'm dubbing this more of an extra feature. So what else can we do with this? Well, we can look at some of the more interesting behind the scenes features that it does that you might not notice during normal use, which is kind of like one of the main reasons I made this, is because I didn't want to have to worry about setting arrays or going through manually changing everything if I wanted to add a new position. I wanted a system where I could take my camera marker, say I wanted something right here. Let's move it a little bit back this way. And I wanted a camera position here. Bam, I'd add a flag. Unfortunately, and this is why it's an experimental feature, the little zoom in thing, it won't sustain that value. So if it's shifted any, say I deleted this value or this flag here, the controller will automatically readjust the flags. So now 4 is actually this flag here. So it would zoom to that one, which is a little bit unfortunate. So it's all of this is a little bit in the what works, but working on it. But as you can see, it automatically changed the flags array here and situated it in the correct order, which I find very, very interesting. Because I was having an issue before where when I was checking it, and I was using the same array or same list. It's a list, not an array. And instead of it, what it currently does is it generates a new list and then adds to that list. Before, it would be able to get the null ones out of there, but it would put it in like a random order. It's very bizarre. And so another feature it has is this target requirement. So right now it's set to complete movement. And if we set it to done, we can actually begin transitions before it's even done moving. So get over there, bam, bam. But if we set it to complete movement or complete rotation and movement, it'll actually require a few things from the camera itself. So game camera, we'll see these two values down there, move complete, rotation complete. So now it won't let me do anything until that rotation is complete. And that's something you can control with the thresholds down here. So say we want it to be able to register at an earlier time, it'll actually pick it up a lot sooner than. So if the rotation doesn't have to be 100% complete before it allows it to start rotating or moving. And then you control the speeds and all that good stuff for it. And you can see the statuses for the target flag and current target position. And then if we go to the flags themselves, we actually have some additional information here that we can adjust when we're making the flag with the camera marker, or we can adjust after the fact. So this first flag here is set to forward, but if we don't necessarily like that, we can move it around. We can even give it a custom direction. So now our first flag is actually going to be at this angle, at a custom 17-degree angle, looking this way. So nothing's set in stone, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to have points where they're a general idea, but if I wanted to go back later and change them, I could. And we have these look speed and move delay, which is a little confusing. I need to find a way to make it a little bit more intuitive, because I believe it's working a lot better than it was before, because before it was actually the move delay would be for the next flag, but now it's, say I set it to, let's set it to 3, which is the maximum right now. You can go into the script and change if you want to. But if we go over here now, wait for it to complete its stuff. So now it's actually going to take about 3 seconds for it to actually come to register the move. That was unexpected. All right, well, I guess that's because I deleted that flag back there, isn't it? Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I forgot I thought I deleted a different one, but yeah, that would make sense. So there's my little magic menu controller. This is not a, by far, flawless system, and I'm not doing the best job of explaining it, but I think I did a pretty well enough job to get the idea across. Also, don't try to change the camera because it will freak out. You'll actually notice it's moving and wiggling around, so yeah. Maybe don't. It is really going nuts. Another thing is, so if we go to a new scene, and this is my favorite feature, I think, about this, is the prefabs. So we have, you can throw in your game controller, or your game camera, your camera marker, and your controller if you wanted to. However, also always make sure the controller, it should automatically do it, but make sure that the controller is not a prefab. It freaks out. It's not my fault. It's a fault with Unity and how it handles something with positional vectors and prefabs. It's very bizarre. But if we go to this object, the lights camera action, if we place it in here, it'll actually give everything you need, and it unpacks it nice and cleanly. So then it's immediately ready to go. You can start going around, and here's how easy it is to make a system, by the way. Flag, bam, it's already set. Right, bam. It's gonna make it a little hard to see where it's moving, but, and there's no way to interact with it. That was a kind of a bust. So it doesn't actually contain the little setup, but if you had the interaction with the transitions there, it'd be real snappy. So maybe we'll put that on the to-do list for the next version. But I would love to hear your feedback on it. It's by no means a flawless feature, as you can see by that little blunder there. But all right, thank you so much for watching.